going on, everybody? Happy Thursday out there. Thanks for being here on Northern Life with us. I kind of like the old switch up that we're doing here.
Yeah, we're back at the desk.
Back at the desk.
Missed you, old pal.
Needs a little cleaning, maybe. Might have to wipe it off at some point. It's been a while since we've been here, but
yeah, no.
Kind of cool to switch it up a little bit. You know, we got a whole set. We got the couches over there. We're over here. You got the OTT desk over there. Got a big green screen over there. It's kind of nice to utilize the space a little bit.
And if you haven't watched Hunter on his OTT broadcast on Northern News Now Plus, you got to get over there because he's doing some deep weather diving.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we talk about hurricanes and everything that involves weather in the Northland and get to dive deeper with no time limit. I can have you as long as I want you and talk about whatever we want. You know, it's kind of fun.
As long as you want to be there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Amen. You can click out anytime.
Anytime you want, but you can never leave. After celebrating Halloween this weekend, most Americans going to get an extra hour of sleep. Daylight saving time ends on Sunday, and our clocks will fall back an hour, and that time change also means our days will be shorter. Nights will also be longer as the official start day of winter gets closer. Now, the practice began in Europe and the U.S. during World War I to save fuel and power, and here in the U.S., states are not required by law to fall back or spring forward, but Hawaii and most of Arizona and some territories in the Pacific and the Caribbean do not observe daylight saving time.
I feel like obviously it does impact me in the immediate future, but it really doesn't in the long term. So I really don't have much of a problem with it, Ryan.
I don't either.
You don't either?
Yeah, I think it's just it is a good reminder of the changing of the seasons. We go, okay, I'll take the extra hour of sleep.
Yes.
And then in the spring, you already know you're going to be mad at losing an hour.
Yes.
So you got to check in on your appliances too. You got to check in on make sure the clock's all set.
And the smoke alarms, great time to test the smoke alarms, all
Yeah.
that stuff. So there
Do
you
some
go.
other cleaning.
Yeah, there you go. Clean under the stove or something.
Yeah, move the stove.
Coming up on today's show, our friend and colleague Dan Wolf is back in studio. He's going to talk to us about tonight's feature report, and we're going to hear what it involves and all sorts of stuff about it later here on Northern Life. Always fun to have Dan in the studio.
Yeah, going to be a great chat on a very deep topic too.
Yeah, my
coming up
gosh.
tonight at 10. Well, hey, I was on the USA Today website looking for stories today, always trying to find out what we're going to be talking about. And guess what? A group of their writers at USA Today were sharing how they were feeling after trying to quit drinking Diet Coke. So I have tried that before. At the start, they all said giving up was absolutely grueling, explaining how the lack of sugar and caffeine for those who actually drank regular Coke too, hitting them, like they said, a ton of bricks. They had to use other energy drinks just to operate. However, since they did quit, they are getting better sleep, feel more energetic, less bloated, and even drinking more water.
Oh my gosh, Ryan, you've tried it before. How did it go? What's your experience?
I got to tell you, I drink Diet Coke I still do occasionally, but coffee's my choice. If I stopped drinking coffee, I think my brain would stop malfunctioning. But, it is that special type of headache you get if you do drink Diet Coke frequently and then you stop for a day or two.
Yep.
You feel it in the front of your head there.
It's much like a coffee headache, right? If you stop drinking coffee, kind of. It must be some kind of addiction thing with coffee.
One of the worst headaches.
Oh my gosh. I've been able to drop pop for like a year plus at one point in time when I was in high school. Haven't done it since then, but it was quite the experience. It took a while to get used to it, but you drink more water, like the story said.
Maybe I'll have to stop coffee completely and tell you all what the effects were.
I don't want to meet that, Ryan.
And I'm sure you wouldn't want me on TV.
Probably not, no.
Well, let's talk about football. The Vikings, they've been bad this year. We can all say that. And as fans feel it in the professional leagues, for the struggling college teams out there, they're feeling it in their pocketbooks. According to a report on the college level, the 2025 Badger football season for Wisconsin is one that fans already want to forget. But if the team's poor performance continues, it could reduce the program's profit by $20 million annually. That is according to a new report from the Center for Research on the Wisconsin Economy, which is housed at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I suppose if your team's doing bad, people don't want to go to the game. They don't want to buy merchandise. They don't want to go to the bar to watch the team lose again. So I could see how it hurt all around.
Amen. And I'm not so worried about the Vikings. We have kind of up and down seasons. It has been a prolonged thing. But something like the Twins, where they just had this huge change in the ownership and everything like that, and kind of not a good vibe within the Twins right now. So that's something that worries me about.
Tough selling
the future.
tickets too. Yeah.
Yes.
And then you see the game on TV, and you say, man, you're losing a lot of fans.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's unfortunate, but
Super
we'll have to
unfortunate.
see. Yep.
When it comes to our nation's educators, they're always awesome. We love our nation's educators. And the job duties for a school principal are endless. And that holds very true for one Michigan principal. She recently jumped into action to save a student who was choking on the cap of a water bottle. And after receiving that warranted praise, obviously, the principal there sees this maneuver as just part of a day's work.
Wow, so humble about the situation. My gosh. Is it required for all teachers and anybody that's employed within a school to have that CPR training?
I don't know. Or like the Heimlich maneuver too?
Yeah. Yep.
I guess I'm not sure. I would assume they probably go through that. But, staying up to date on that, super important.
Yep, good that she was in the right place at the right time.
Hey, I'm sure you've all noticed it. It is that time of year again where ladybugs and lady beetles are swarming the Northland, looking for spots to hibernate for the winter. And while those beetles are generally harmless, there are a few steps you can take to ensure they don't crawl into your house for the winter. So be sure to seal up your homes, close any gaps in the foundation or windows, and if the bugs do get inside, sweeping or vacuuming them up is perhaps the easiest way to dispose of those insects.
Do you have ladybugs in your house right now, Ryan?
I gotta tell you, Hunter, I do have ladybugs occasionally in the house, and they tend to get up in. The funniest part is they get up in the like the light fixture that's in every room. It's
How do
amazing.
they do that?
When I first moved in, I go, I'm gonna unscrew this and clean this out, and only to find out there's a ton of ladybugs in it. And then but lately, as they've been creeping in, they're on the patio door and whatnot, and then I find they're also back into the light socket. They like that warm area.
It's interesting. Maybe they just like light in general too, but the warmth, like you said, we are full of ladybugs and full of flies right now in our cabin.
Yeah, man.
That's something with doing wood also, like burning wood in the winter, is I think the flies like sleep in the wood. So when you bring wood in throughout the winter, they start waking up with the warmth and they fly around your house. So it's just constant flies that you have to suck up with the vacuum in the cabin.
Yeah, Mary and I got the apple cider vinegar out in a couple bowls around the house, and
Does that work?
They're loading up in those bowls, so it seems to be working. But if our neighbors all morning, they hear us just clapping, just getting after bugs too. So.
They're stinky too when you kill them.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yep.
Well, hey, coming up, Dan Wolf stopping by, sharing tonight's special report airing here on Northern News Now at 10 o'clock. We'll share more with them when we come back.
Welcome back, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back our friend and Northern News Now evening anchor here, Dan Wolf.
Woo.
Dan, how you doing? What's going on?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm getting used to being on this great show. I'm more and more comfortable now.
These chairs are a lot more comfortable than the stools and chairs we use down in the Northern News Now studio.
That's
My
true.
behind is usually numb after a show of sitting on those things. This is we got to start doing our shows in these.
You're going to start falling asleep.
Exactly.
I know,
And here's
yeah.
the thing, we got a couch. We never use it anymore, so
Yeah.
we need to use the couch with 3 people. You might as well just come on the show.
Yeah, I'll just pile in there with you guys.
Oh, look at Get the love seat. Get
Any
you right in the
reason to
middle.
get closer to Hunter, I always say.
Absolutely, that's
Always a
what
good
I
time.
always say.
So Dan's here because tonight at 10 here on Northern News Now, Dan here will be sharing a special report. Let's take a quick look at it.
The same drug dealers and violent criminals arrested time and time again, only to end up right back on the streets.
Puts a burden on our office, it puts a burden on criminal justice system, and without question it puts burdens on our communities.
Low bail and light sentences for repeat offenders prompt calls for change.
It's pretty frustrating because you're back there dealing with the same problem again.
A Northern News Now special report. Get out of jail almost free tonight at 10.
All right, and Dan, I have been playing McDonald's or Monopoly at McDonald's lately, but this is a much deeper topic. Get out of jail free card, Monopoly reference.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But what are we looking at tonight here at 10?
Well, for years now, Duluth has been dealing with an opioid crisis, a drug crisis, and in some cases a public safety crisis. And I've been hearing from so many people, whether it be people who live and work downtown, people just community members, and even law enforcement, county prosecutors, all those folks, frustration about repeat offenders, people who are causing problems, serious problems, felony level problems on the streets, getting arrested for it, and then being able to just get right back out and reoffend time and time and time again. And so, as Duluth deals with this opioid crisis and drug crisis, I decided to kind of dig in. Why are we seeing that? Why do we have, in some cases, a lot of the same people reoffending and committing the same crimes, drug dealing in particular, serious level, felony levels of fentanyl, other opioids, that sort of thing, again and again. And so I kind of dig into the topic.
That's fantastic. Yeah, a very serious problem around here in our region and throughout the world.
And nationally,
actually,
too.
Nationally
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Talk about, because you saw a couple of the people that you talked to in the package, but
Yeah.
when you figure out a story idea, how do you go about figuring out who you need to talk to, and then who do you talk to in this story as well?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's what I probably spend the most time on, is trying to dig in and figure out, okay, where is this going to go? What's my focus and direction of this story? And then who am I going to talk to about it? What are we going to talk about and focus on in our interviews, and then setting up and doing those interviews. And so that takes a lot of time in and of itself. With this story that you saw there, the St. Louis County Attorney, she was great to talk to. Kim Mackey provided a lot of good information. And so did, as you saw, Duluth Police Chief. I also spent some time with some folks who were out in the community talking to addicts, some of the people being preyed on by these drug dealers. And so hearing from all of those people, collecting all of that information, and worked really hard, spent a good month on this story, putting it together. Finally airs tonight at 10.
Really looking forward to it. And without giving too much away, Dan, was there any maybe a specific bit of information or maybe someone you met along the way that really surprised you?
You know, I talked to a handful of people, and so many people are like, look into the case of this person, look into the case of this person. You won't believe what you see. And I talked to some community members who pointed me in the direction of one drug dealer in particular who's been arrested and charged with felonies multiple times, gets right back out, low bail, light sentences, just probation. And so we're going to hear from the county attorney in particular talking about that individual and those cases, and some of the county attorney's frustration with that person being able to reoffend, and how it's kind of a trend with a lot of drug dealers in particular when we're talking about the opioid fentanyl crisis.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, why don't you keep your thoughts to yourself?
After my Monopoly bit that I had, please stop there.
Please, no more, no more. It's obvious that you are passionate about what you do and what you do here in journalism and this investigative type of reports. You're like an idea factory. How do you come up with all of these different ideas for how long you've been in this profession? How do you keep it new and fresh and have these new ideas that keep impacting the region?
I think I just really love my job.
Yeah,
and
obviously.
I really enjoy journalism. I'm kind of a naturally curious individual, and so it's almost like a curse in some ways. I'll just be walking around and thinking, oh, we need to do a story on that. Oh, look at that. We should really dig into that. And it's like sometimes you just got to turn it off.
It never shuts off.
Yeah, I know. Shut up already. And so that it's just kind of my brain's always going and thinking of that. And you know, I'm sure it drives our bosses nuts. I'm just throwing out story ideas left and right. They're like, would you leave us alone for a little
Got
bit?
the whole spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Get a
right?
life, Dan. Get a life.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Be sure to find Dan's special report coming up tonight at 10 here on Northern News Now. You can also follow Dan and send your messages and ideas on him on Facebook, you know, with that awesome profile picture he's got with Laura Lee, too.
That's the best right there.
Well, Dan, thanks for stopping by, and happy Halloween to you.
Happy Halloween to you guys. Thank you for having me on.
Of course.
And we'll see you at 10, but we'll also see you after the break.
Hey, we are just one day away from one of the most anticipated broadcasts of the year, Halloween on the Today Show, Ryan. Every year the Today team goes big, and this year is going to be no exception. Tune in tomorrow morning to see all of the tricks and treats the Today team has come up its sleeve. Have you seen this before? I've never actually seen this.
You've never
broadcast.
watched the Today Show
No!
on Halloween? Hunter.
it crazy?
They have insane costumes. Yeah,
What?
I mean, you could tell that Al Roker on the far left,
Oh
you know.
my gosh.
Savannah Guthrie was a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, part of the team, you know, years ago. So,
Sure.
yeah, they go all out, man. It's a big deal.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! Wow, it's pretty good. Do they hand out candy and stuff or anything like that? Or what?
They kind of do, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose you're doing the radio show, so that way
Exactly.
you don't get to watch the Today Show.
Because it's got to be what, from
Yeah.
7 to 10 or something
Yeah.
like that.
Meanwhile, I'm coffee badging. I'm just watching the monitor that's on the TV. Yeah, I get to enjoy.
That's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. Hey,
Well,
as long as someone is.
If you're watching us on the weekends here on Northern News Now, hundreds of writers have worked on Saturday Night Live over the years, but maybe the most influential one is Jim Downey, as the subject of a new documentary streaming on Peacock.
Oh, I love Jim Downey. Mark Barger talked to Downey, hearing about his more than 30 years on the show.
Many iconic lines
Strategery.
from SNL's long history
I'm not gonna do it.
came from the mind of one man, Jim Downey.
Jim Downey's the best writer that I ever worked with.
A new Peacock documentary, Downey wrote that, explores his more than 30 years writing for the show.
When a really good idea comes, it's like a powder that you just mix with water, and it's it's there, the whole thing.
Downey was 24 when he joined SNL in its second season.
This is my first office that I shared with Bill Murray. He was a lively office mate. He was always the cast member who you throw him out naked and he would do fine.
But Downey did create plenty of material for Murray, including their mutual favorite.
¿Quién es más macho?
It was a game show entirely in Spanish.
I was just so grateful. It's like, oh, this will live forever.
¿Quién es más macho? Fernando Lamas o Ricardo Montalban?
We rehearsed it for hours, and they'd say, Billy, you got it? It's like, no, I don't think so. Just because I wanted to keep doing it over and over again.
Downey was a cast member himself for one season in 1980.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Years later, his legendary bank commercial spoof brought him back on camera.
We will work with the customer to give that customer the change that he or she needs. If you come to us with a $20 bill, we can give you 2 10s. We can give you 4 5s. We can give you a 10 and 2 5s.
Dana Carvey took one of Downey's ideas to the next level.
On the paper, it was not going to do it, and that became
Nagada.
Downey also shared a comic mindset with Norm Macdonald.
You know, we had the same kind of instincts, the same kind of things we didn't want to do, which is just as important.
Their Weekend Update jokes about O.J. Simpson got them both fired by the network, though Downey would eventually return to add to his SNL legacy.
Most of what makes us laugh is something that's true. Just you've never heard it put that way before.
Jim Downey had that way, and still does.
He continues to get funnier and funnier. I enjoy him more now than ever.
Mark Barker, NBC Entertainment.
Oh, that'll be an exciting one.
I'm going to have to watch that. Norm Macdonald drew me to Jim Downey.
Oh.
What a genius both of them are. My gosh. Very, very cool. I'll have to watch that.
Funny stuff. Downey wrote that. Streaming now on Peacock. He did retire in 23, but he is still active as you see. We'll see you after the break.
Can't believe it's here already. Tomorrow, Ryan and I are going to be dressing up for Halloween because, well, tomorrow's Halloween. We're going to talk about some of the best haunted houses.
We're going to be dressing up for fun.
We should just every day. I don't see why not. Halloween events and sights to see as we enjoy one more day of the month of October. Look at all our costumes we've done in the past.
I forgot you were, who were you last year? You weren't the skipper?
I was captain.
That's
I was
right,
Captain and Tennille.
yeah.
Yes. And you were...
I confused you were skipper. Yeah.
Yes. You were Jeff Probst.
Jeff Probst?
Yeah. What were you the first year? You were a Teletubby.
Teletubby.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was a
so
rock
stick
star.
around. I'm also a TV character when I join you tomorrow.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So stick around.
I'm excited.
A show I've watched a whole lot of now. Before we go today, let's get to a viewer photo sent to us on our Northern Life Facebook page. Karen told us she took this photo of a comet over Sugar Lake in Cohasset, Minnesota. You can see it right there in the almost middle of your screen shooting through the sky. She did say, she did want to let us know, it is slightly edited, so
that's okay.
Probably to see the comet better, but I'm glad that you did edit it so that way I could see it.
Yes, those are some of the best nights when you're out in the middle of the woods, you look up and it's just beautiful stars, and then you see a comet or shooting star, something like that.
If you have any moon pictures, be sure to send them to Chief Meteorologist Adam Lorch on his Facebook page. He loves moon photos.
It's his favorite thing in the world.
He loves it.
Make sure to check that out. We love you all at home.
We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Thursday.
Find some time to throw a line or just head outside to unwind. That's the life in the great North Woods. Hike or bike, whatever you like. Get out in the day, enjoy the night. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, this is Northern Life.